Hey, howdy, hey, Simmers. It's Erin. I am the Rescue Simmer, and you are watching the next episode of the 100die Fundie Baby Challenge. Our Beth is looking miserable. Our Garnet is looking disgusting. Actually, they both are. Garnet had a massive blowout. Guys, it is 4 a.m. Everybody is kind of getting to bed. They've just had a sit down at the table. Everybody's sad. Everybody's crying. I'm going to leave it paused here because we have a lot to talk about, you guys. I am not sure whether I will get a video out as quickly as I would like to or not. So if it happens that we don't skip a Fundie Friday, awesome. Yay. Wonderful. If it does happen that we do skip a Fundie Friday, there should be a live stream instead that I'm hoping that everybody will at least be able to come to or see, because I hate not getting content out. I love this challenge and I love filming it, but we're getting on the holidays. I might be a little bit hit and miss from time to time, but if I can't do a video, then we will always have a live stream while I can't get, normal content out on my schedule. So guys, the reason it is 4 a.m, I think everybody has been very upset. Everybody has been crying. It's days later after who was Plum Bite is now Leif has left triumphantly, may I add, where Opal left in a very non-confrontational way, like absolutely resolute, but not confrontational. And maybe Opal burned some bridges. Leif was like, give me the torch. I will light it on fire myself. I want everybody to see that it is me that is doing it. So proud of Leif. We decided quite a lot on stream. So this is Leif now. Love him. Leif now uses he, they pronouns. And he decided to totally change his name to give one last fluff you to his parents. So guys, anyway, Pastor Joseph has had to explain to his children what has been going on with who he considers his daughter, what is happening in their family, just like any parent would with a familial change, any kind of familial discourse. This doesn't change because they are fundies. They still have to deal with relationships and interpersonal things and disagreements. How are we going to handle conflict in our family? He still wants to make sure that the children that are under his roof are okay. He wants to make sure that all of his children are okay, but he feels kind of helpless where the grown children are concerned. And I think that that's very relatable, right? But Pastor Joseph is a fundie nonetheless. As caring and good-natured and well-intentioned as Pastor Joseph is, he is still a fundie, and he is given fundamentalist ways to view what is happening to his child and how that is going to affect his other children. And I can tell you what, guys, this is going to be a tougher topic, and I want to get it out of the way right away. And we are going to go to the ATI Wisdom Booklets, booklet number 15, straight from Gothard's mouth, to help frame for us how most fundamentalists, and definitely the IBLP, ATI, homeschoolers, would have been encouraged to view this topic. So Gothard frames this, and realize that this is coming out in the time frame, this iteration of the homeschooling curriculum is coming out in the time frame of the 80s and 90s, right? So think about LGBT sentiments then. I don't even think that we had an acknowledgement of the B and the T at that point. Being specifically homosexual was flamboyant and flashy enough. So Gothard uses a tactic that he uses quite a bit in driving his points home, where he will tell an anecdotal story. He won't name anyone specifically. He won't really give many identifying factors. This is probably because this is just a representative story. This isn't a factual thing that happened to one specific person like he poses them. this is probably an amalgamation of a few people that he has talked to, and he just shoved it into one person for either convenience or because it's more powerful. But it's a storytelling tactic. It's a manipulation tactic. Or it could have been completely falsified in the first place. So let's keep that there. This could have actually happened to a person, and just for privacy's sake, he's not naming them. So I do want to bring that up as well. However, now that we have framed this, he has put it in his Wisdom Booklet 15, which talks about being like the light of the world and essentially bringing truth out no matter what cost, because it is the most loving thing to do, which is an incredibly palatable message. And what truthful person wouldn't be attracted to that, right? So he starts out with something very sweet and then he brings it real dark, as the IBLP loves to do. So he talks to the minors that this is meant for and starts indoctrinating them to get involved in government. It's definitely happening through the other wisdom booklets, but it's really ramped up here. So he frames the situation this way. In the city of Fargo, North Dakota, a proclamation was issued by the mayor giving official recognition and acceptance to the sodomites in the community. I've alluded to this before. Sodomite is the Fundie word for someone who is not heterosexual. The word is based in the city of Sodom, and homosexual people get this label because the interpretation was that the sin of Sodom that got it smote off the face of the earth was homosexuality. Now, I'm not going to bring out passages from the Christian Bible. There were a few things that were happening in Sodom. You could interpret that homosexuality was one of the things happening, but to assert that it was the sin of Sodom is just really not educated. I'm just going to put that out there. Now, these are just personal opinions of mine. Certainly because I think them does not mean that you should think them. But Gothard goes on to say a godly pastor in the city was deeply grieved by the proclamation. He knew from scripture that sodomy was a type of sin, not a classification for a misunderstood minority. His use of quotes here is infuriating to me. The tone comes off to me as very patronizing, like the way that you would speak to a 5-year-old that didn't understand that the sky was blue most of the time. He knew that if sodomy were accepted and encouraged, it would run rampant in the city, bring mental, moral, physical, and spiritual destruction to the entire community. We're going to get into that, but essentially, especially at this time, fundamentalists believe that everybody is default straight and that something happens to you. The more loving and tender-hearted would say that there was some trauma, that there was some misuse of you or some neglect perhaps by a parent, but something happened to turn you not straight. And I will say that this was not unlike the opinions of even the secular world at the time. So I have to be fair in that way. I cannot expect people to look in the 80s and 90s at this issue through 2023 glasses. Now, Gothard says that this pastor demonstrated wise initiative by writing a letter directly to the mayor for the purpose of bringing illumination to the subject of homosexuality. There are those quotes again. The pastor received the following response to his letter. So it says that this is dated June 25th of 1985, and we are to believe that this is from the mayor of the city of Fargo. By the way, I hope this dude is real. The mayor, who may or may not have actually written this letter, says, "Dear Pastor, thank you for your kind and thoughtful letter about the proclamation. I'm certain we both agree that the best of all worlds would be one in which there was no discrimination and thus no need for such a proclamation. However, I believe our differences come from an interpretation of the very scripture you quote. Since the preponderance of evidence concludes that a person has no control to the sex which he or she is attracted, it is difficult for me to conclude that the Bible means to condemn such people." Good job, dude. You're probably fictitious, but I'm rooting for you. Indeed, condemnation of such helpless victims seems directly counter to Christian teachings. Go, Mayor of Fargo, go. Another aspect of the issue is the English version of these passages. I have heard that the passages in their original language did not condemn homosexuality. I'm not prepared to argue this, but if you have training in these languages, I would enjoy visiting with you about it. By the way, what an expertly passive-aggressive way of saying you're out of your depth, be quiet. Again, probably fictitious. I doubt this letter was actually written. At least not by this one person. But still, as a fictional character, I'm rooting for this guy. A final issue any public official must address is the role of any particular religion in government. We must have over a dozen religions in Fargo, each having its own work of religious literature. One must be careful to allow each of them to worship without infringing upon others. In any event, please write or stop to visit. Thanks again for writing and have a nice summer. Sincerely, and then there's no name there, Mayor and President, Board of City Commissioners. So Gothard goes on to say that when the pastor received the mayor's letter, he wrote a wise and gracious response. This is the last one that I'm going to read, guys. I'm so sorry, it's almost over. But I do think that this is important for us to be able to frame what it is these kids are getting for counsel, what these parents have for resources to talk about this, and what it is Leif is up against, and Sims, like Amy, knows that she is up against if she were to come out or recognize her feelings. When the pastor received the mayor's letter, he wrote a wise and gracious response. In it, he focuses God's light on the truth about sodomy. Notice the respectfulness and precision of the pastor's letter. He is petting this guy so much. Again, this pastor probably doesn't exist. Dear Mayor, thank you for the letter expressing your reasoning behind the recent proclamation. I really did not expect a reply. Your kind and prompt reply has encouraged me to go into more detail with your permission. I recently finished a Bible school study for adults on being alert to spiritual danger. By the way, you can almost bet that that is not peer-reviewed. And in no way is scholarly, impartial work. It has an agenda. Why are you quoting this? 2 of the true-false questions were, and we know these 100% to be false in modern times, homosexuality is not mentioned very much in the Bible, and some people are born with homosexual tendencies. The answer to both of these questions is false, so he is going to a government official, and his only resources are a spiritual text. Do you see how deeply the corruption can run? Separation of church and state is there for a reason, and it is willfully encouraged to be completely disregarded in this cult. They are encouraged to reach out to their local governments because it works. If they're the only ones reaching out, then they are the only voices being heard. And they're really good at it. These guys are so comfortable playing a long game. They are invested for generations in this. Not to scare anybody. The whole message of this is that if they can be effective, anyone else can too. They are not educated definitely any more than you are. You have an absolutely valid voice. So you can always go and bring any issue that is close to your heart or that worries you to your representative. Do not be discouraged because these guys for sure are not. In it, he says the Bible does not mention homosexuality because the word is not a scriptural term. That's true. Man's terms remove the moral and spiritual connotations of a sin and treat it as something outside God's realm of control. Not true. The Bible uses at least 15 different terms to describe, identify, and condemn the sin of sodomy. That's problematic for reasons that I won't go into. These terms and the context in which they are used to explain why any nation which permits sodomy will be destroyed. He's threatening him. So this pastor is using his deity as his own personal pit bull to point at organizations he doesn't like and threaten them. That's concerning. Sodomy is the ultimate moral consequence of the lie. When men change the truth of God into a lie, they worship and serve the creature more than the creator. And then a Bible verse is quoted. Do you see those brackets there? That means that they didn't directly quote the scripture. They summarized and put in what they think it means. There is more. It goes on. If you have an interest in reading it, the resources will, as always, be in the description below. You guys know I never quote these things without giving you the ability to look at it yourself. Thank you, Homeschoolers Anonymous, because I can give you guys a resource without directing you to the IBLP's page. So that's the context that all of these guys are being coached into. And please understand, they believe it. Not just kind of, oh my gosh, Beth, I'm so sorry. She's got to bathe Garnet. Oh my goodness. Not just kind of, not just a little bit. These guys believe that they are fighting the good fight for their deity, for their watcher. And that if they were to bow, then they would be part of the problem. They would be part of what is keeping the world that they are commanded to love in this lie that would be separating the rest of the world from me. So they believe that they would incur my wrath if they believed anything else. The most loving fundies may believe that, yes, this is harsh, and no, it doesn't feel good, but that's almost proof of why they should still do it, because they are taught not to trust themselves. Never mind that they were made in my image, right? Never mind that they are fearfully and wonderfully made. Never mind that it is preached that I would have never made a mistake. I don't do whoopsies. We're going to ignore that because it does not fit our worldview. And they are petted for that. They are rewarded for that. They are so afraid of being disrespectful of me, of writing over my words, of disregarding an order that I gave them, that they are willing to turn. It's not a blind eye. They are willing to take the hardest view of something because they feel like that if they were to follow anything other than what seems like the hardest thing, that they would run the risk of being wrong and infuriating me and stepping outside of that umbrella of protection and falling away from me, from my favor, from all of it. So the most loving of them say, no, I don't like it. Yeah, I wish that this were different, but I just can't find sufficient evidence to say that it is. So I'm going to err on the side of caution. And what's a little temporary suffering for eternal glory, eternal life, eternal place in that save file in the sky, right? Oh my goodness, everybody is so tired. They have been up talking and talking and talking. Leif left days ago. But we're going to pretend like no time at all has passed. The kids are definitely not going to school today. I didn't get a chance to set up the holiday where they don't go to school. But we're just not doing that. They shouldn't be going to school anyway. It's a Thursday, and we're going to let them sleep in. Okay? That's how it's going to go. I'll send poor Beth to bed. She looks miserable, poor thing, to really just mourn over their children, who they feel has fallen to this sin, this lie that they have been told their entire lives is just something that the great evil one, the devil, is doing to confuse them and separate them from the watcher. On that happy note, I will see you at whatever time they wake up. Happy Thursday, everybody. Dad is up. I'll have to say that nobody is super rested. If I can show you guys, their bar did not get full, but they're just not used to sleeping this late, you know? Their internal clocks are going off. The kids are taking days off of school. The kids are up. Topaz is not quite up, our little star pupil. Garnet is, but Mom is not. Mom is the sim that I think has taken this the hardest, as we have seen on live stream. Mom actually, I don't know if it was with Dad's blessing or not. I could see arguments for both, but Mom actually was able to visit previously Plum, now Leif, and Opal, and just came and spent time. I think Mom knows that this is the last time that they're going to get to see Leif for a very long time. And to be honest, she and Leif really didn't talk much. I think Mom was just doing everything that she could to be there in some capacity. And I think that Dad does not have a very close relationship with Leif. Didn't have a very close relationship with them when they were Plum. Doesn't have a very close relationship, obviously, with them now. I think Dad is going through some hurt, some anger, as one would expect, right? And then you take into account that they are fundies, and there's a whole nother layer that adds. This was traumatic for the family. This would be definitely a traumatic way to lose a family member. And this is essentially what's happening. The IBLP does not specifically encourage shunning. The IBLP does not specifically encourage cutting ties with family members. But if you have family members that are not living up to the standards that the IBLP believes is God honoring in their case, watcher honoring in ours, then they encourage you to not be guilty by association with them and to distance yourself for sure. Oh, these bees are so mad. We're neglecting them quite a lot. I would also like to call out. Oh, no attention left. Oh, Onyx. Well, I don't know what you're talking about, sir, because your little sister did just follow you into the bathroom. That's a little weird, Rose. Onyx made this. Rosie, I think, is shocked. Rosie wants her family to be all together. This is big ripple waves, I think, for everyone. It is 10 in the morning and Mom is still not up, you guys. Well, Mom, I think we are going to have to get you up. You do need to eat. Like, let's get some food in you. I know this is heartbreaking for her. She loves her children. She doesn't want to be separated from them, but you know, life does what life does sometimes. Oop, that's the girls' bathroom. Never mind, Onyx, you need to go use one of the boys' bathrooms. Danny is just coming in from tending to the chickens. Guys, we've had Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. We had a new chick born, I believe. Yeah, that's Deuteronomy, pardon me. I believe it's this one, that's Rooster Chick. We're going to name this Rooster Chick very appropriately Joshua. Next chick we have is going to be called Judges. Oh my goodness, we have so many, so many eggs. I think we could probably sell all of these. Oh, Rose is just by herself in this little tent. Guys, I never get the kids outside. It's so much work nowadays. Oh my gosh, you guys, she's aging up. Okay, Let's age up this baby. I don't want her to feel forgotten. Our poor little Garnet. Oh no. She has been totally forgotten because oh geez. Look at crawling. That's what none of our children can do. None of our infants have done. Oh, she's aged up. So she was a sensitive kid and she got the top-notch infant. I don't know how she managed that. She's fussy. Oh, great. Oh man, what a force to be reckoned with this child is going to be. Look at those dreads on that little baby. Short hair. None of this would fly. Absolutely none of this would fly. She's so mad. So mad. Oh, she's not the favorite. And she had a forgotten birthday. Oh my goodness. Nobody watched. Look at them all over here eating breakfast. Well, sweetheart, I'm so sorry. You had the unfortunate misfortune of aging up on a time where it's a little traumatic for the family. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We're going to take this poor baby into Create a Sim. I will see you guys there. All right. There's a happy baby. Okay. So Garnet, my dear, you were a blondie and you kind of had wavy hair texture with those little buns. So I think I'm going to try to get some of that going. Like, I think this would be so cute, such a cute little hairstyle for her. And it would keep some of her infant texture. I'm just making sure that there isn't one that I like a little bit better for her. And I don't think that there is. So let's see. Let's give you a Garnet everyday outfit. Nice and red. Of course, we have to do full body. Oh, I'm in sleepwear. Let's filter by colors to red. And I'm pretty much only interested in dresses right now. This is, I believe, what Rose had. We could call them hand-me-downs, but this might be even better. I think I do like this quite a bit. Of course, we have to have leggings on toddlers. And I think I like the idea of these little shoes on her. I am going to put her back in her little red glasses. I am so thrilled that we have a glasses gal finally. And guys, if any of our kids age up with any medical wearables, any glasses in their everyday outfits, then I take that as being hearing impaired or having some sort of sight impairment. It's my way of keeping it kind of organic, to keep my own personal opinion out of it, so that, you know, it's just life. We just deal with it, right? No cowboy hats for toddlers. I think that was such a missed opportunity, but I digress. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and give her the rest of her Fundie makeover, and I will be right back with you. Alrighty, guys, back with you. Here is her Fundie makeover. Here's her formal wear. We'll never see this. Her sleepwear. We'll see this quite a lot. Figured that she would not have glasses while she is going to sleep. her party wear. Gave her a cute little curly updo. Those glasses are back. I love that little dress. I think that's so cute. Here's her swimwear. She's wearing shorts, but we'll say it's to keep her diaper on. I don't know. I just didn't feel like finding a dress and making it swimwear, but we'll never see this anyway. Gave her some hot weather wear. Got to keep those legs covered, of course. And of course, we have her cold weather wear. I absolutely love this one, but it's the only one that sort of kind of looks like a dress. So there are other cute options, but I can't use them for this challenge. So let's get on into game. Alrighty, guys, we got 2 tots in the house. Oh, such a fussy little girl. I do feel bad for her. Aww. Onyx, can you maybe read her a book? Is she hungry at all? She's very hungry. Okay. Well, not very. She's hungry enough. We'll put it that way. Her brother's a little hungrier and losing out on some attention. That's lovely. Rose, are you helping your mom? Autonomously, look at this girl. She is for sure going to be one of I see Rose as really just wanting to be a peacekeeper. I think that she would be very agreeable with her mother and her father. I think that I see her as a sim pleaser, you know? Of course, Danny likes deception. Anything that can get him, I think, that manipulative kind of thing. Ooh, Garnet loves books. Who's reading? Oh, it's not Topaz. It's Onyx who is reading this. And Dad's checking. Aw. Dad is getting on his oldest daughter at home right now. Deuteronomy is now a fully grown rooster. Very nice. Yep, getting on his fully grown daughter. No, I'm sorry, his oldest daughter at home. And he's going to use his influence over her because she is a sim pleaser to influence her to clean. Mom is cleaning. Your mother keeps a very clean house. I want you to respect your father and mother by not ruining our house. Okay, so it looks like my toddlers still have the option to grab a serving. I wonder why that is. Really, anyone child and above can't grab a serving, and that's so frustrating. Rose just ignored her father. I don't think that this would happen at all. So he tried to influence her. That didn't work, but we are going to force her to clean up her messes. You don't get an option to listen to parental authority. We were way too lenient with your older siblings. This is going to start to take a much more forceful turn at this point. I would never depict abuse, but this is going to start being a lot more authoritative, you know? Dad, you need to shave. The IBLP at this time does not allow facial hair. So get that done for me, sir. Thank you. Topaz is getting himself some breakfast. You go, buddy. And guys, I think we're just going to be doing some school today, to be honest. The mischief skill. Okay, great. Wonderful. And everybody is still super sad about the really disruptive way that their siblings left, but life has got to move on. Life has to move on and march on right now. And speaking of marching on, you guys, Onyx's potential courtship. What is that? Oh, acquired the movement skill. Okay, wonderful. But Onyx's potential courtship with Jill is now being questioned. You guys said it in the comments of last episode. Thank goodness that the Josephs don't have a very big congregation and that only the 2 families were there. I think that Dad is going to have to talk with Mr. Lewis about how they're going to handle this. In fact, let's invite him to hang out at our current lot, and let's invite Jeff as well. We have to address the men of these households. We have to discuss how church is going to go on Sunday and what we're going to say, because we have to say something. You know, we can't just not mention that Jeff and Plum are now no longer in a relationship. We know Plum is Leif, but they don't. So it looks like they're on their way over, which is awesome. Mama is teaching the little. She looks so miserable. Oh, it's just on her face. But she's going to have to keep sweet and put that happy face on. She needs to get going. She has to keep up a good front with her husband. They have to present a unified force. if they are going to weather this storm, you know? Ooh, Topaz is an aggressive toddler. It's becoming clear that Topaz is a little more aggressive than other toddlers. Aggressive toddlers like to roughhouse and are quick to bite, hit, or kick Sims, so long as they aren't good friends. They don't even have to be angry like other toddlers. Watch out. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm gonna do this a little bit of a different way than I did with Danny. So usually very smart kids can end up biting. Like if their emotions supersede their vocabulary, then that can be very frustrating for kids, and they can bite and they can hit and they can act out. So that's the way I'm going to move this, I think, for Topaz. Mom is busying herself with some laundry. The Lewises are now over, the male Lewises. So, this is so cute, you guys. So Jeff is in school right now. He is going to a more Fundie school. He is seeking some higher education. Dad is just comforting him. He's got to play the part of this like heartbroken courtship partner, you know. Dad's checking in with Mr. Lewis. They're discussing the symbol. This is part of the mod that is being developed for this challenge by Jacob the Cat. Let's see if we can discuss some world peace. We're going to try and really move things in our direction, get everybody's temperature to try to do some damage control, right? Now, it's just the men that are in these conversations. They're going to be deciding as the heads of the household what direction everybody is going to be taking. Normally, Mr. Lewis's wife would be with him, and so would James. They would be probably discussing separately as couples how they feel. Then the men would be coming together. And then once the men came and met, then the wives and the men would come to meet. And then they would go separately and talk within their couple or within their family. Now, we don't have time to do this in The Sims, so we're doing the abbreviated version. And you better believe that he would be trying to soften the Lewises to his point of view, to his family's plight. He would be convincing them that this is just a season of their lives, that this is a test from the Watcher, and they are going to persevere through all of it. And listen, Mr. Lewis is not a very nice Sim. I like to think that he was sort of chased out of his last church. He used to be a pastor. I think he understands that they can come to an understanding. I think that Mr. Lewis knows that he has other children that need to be wed, and that the Josephs have a whole lot of them. So I think that he knows that it's beneficial for his family and his stuff, or his agendas, to remain friendly. And yeah, I'll keep your secrets. Now, this isn't him being nice. This is him realizing that he's got a hold on them now. So they better watch their P's and Q's. They better take his suggestions for the church. And this is kind of like a deal with the devil, you know? James is learning that Jeff is since gone to college. It wasn't the college he had hoped for. He has to go to a more Fundie college. But he is going to college, and then he's going to be serving what's called a singles mission. Jeff is an unmarried person, so he will be serving as a missionary for a stint of about 6 months to a year. And then he'll get his life set up and ready for the next lucky Fundie lady. Or so his parents think. That's the plan right now. That does not mean that that's what Jeff has to do. But for now, he's got a plan. Everything worked out okay. They're also discussing, oh boy, Garnet. You know what? I'm just going to let you keep playing, girl. They're also going to be discussing what it is they're going to be telling the church. So, yay! Everybody finished their school projects. I think that what they have come up with is just that it was revealed to them that it was not the Watcher's will that Jeff and Plum be married, that Plum and Opal are serving their own singles missions, which can happen to females in the IBLP, that as unmarried women, they would be giving their service to the Watcher through serving maybe some missions that the IBLP has going out. So that's where everybody is being told that they are. That's, of course, not where they are. So that'll at least get people off the trail for a while. So for now, I think we have a plan. James feels good about it. And Mr. Lewis has no problem lying to a congregation. So I think this has been a productive meeting. I think that Jeff is going to keep his mouth shut because he really does need everybody to be on his side while he gets educated and gets his life set up to get his mom out. So I think that's a grand thing. I think everybody's really, really happy. So, Mr. Lewis is like, and your house stinks. Okay, let's stop. Blue spirit is fading away. Okay, that's sad, but they definitely would not believe that animals have souls, so we're not going to encourage it. I'm so sorry. I think you, sir, need to go. I think you both need to go. And since they're out of here and, James really does have quite a weight off of his shoulders, I think we're going to be introducing ourselves to some other Fundie families that you guys have submitted. Thank you so much for doing those, but we're going to go ahead and get going. Now, these are some families that Jasper has met. Very first is the Stefan family. The Stefan family was uploaded by SimsGirl950, and their bio reads that they just want to be in this faith. They want to do what they think pleases the watcher. So, very nice, open storyline. Now, these guys have actually been in the world for a while. They are very conservatively dressed, so that's wonderful. We're going to do a cheerful introduction, and we're going to do, I think, another cheerful introduction. Pastor Joseph really has to turn on the charm here. He needs more members in his church. He needs to be able to solicit some donations from them, which is also part of the mod that Jacob is working on. If you guys would like to be part of that, then down in the description is a link to the 100die Fundie Discord, and we have a channel specifically for the development of this mod. Now we're going to discuss world peace and talk about the Watcher. We really do want to get their temperature. Hey, what brought you out to Chestnut Ridge? You guys have a beautiful home. Did you build this yourselves? No, we just moved here. We really do just want to leave the modern world behind. There's so many temptations. We just want to get closer to the Watcher. And I think James is really impressed by what he is seeing. Let's have a deep conversation with these guys. And I think we're going to go to these Watcher interactions, and we're going to invite to a symbol study. Wonderful. It looks like Miss Selena was a geek. So she's leaving a lot of that technology behind, which she would be praised for, right? And I think we're going to invite her to a symbol study as well. Now, there is actually an event called a symbol study that we can do and through our phone with this mod. And I'll be probably giving you a little taste of that next episode. So I think they've just agreed, which is awesome. And we're going to travel again. I'm trying not to keep him out too late, so pardon the rushedness of this. And we're going to be seeing the Cruz family. The Cruz family was originally uploaded with just 2 kiddos by Obina Afoha. Forgive me if I am pronouncing that name wrong. Obina Afoha 12. Their description reads, the Cruzes are a young, devout Catholic family from South Texas. Manuel and Miranda were arranged for marriage before they were teens, and they were in the know of it. At 17, they were both given permission from their parents and church leaders to marry and forego a college education. At 19, they were proud to fulfill the Watcher's needs by being fruitful and multiplying. Currently, they are looking to relocate to a town with other like-minded Watcher-fearing Sims. So I love this family's story, specifically because they are Catholic. Now in the IBLP, the fact that they were Catholic and not Protestant would be an issue. But this is really to show that so long as you are following a few things, the IBLP is not a religion. The IBLP is like a movement. So let's go in and meet them. I did give them a Chestnut Ridge makeover. They have this teeny tiny little house, and it looks like they've had 2 more children since. So we're going to do a little bit of a cheerful introduction. They were in all black, so I wanted to keep that going from the creator. James is just going to meet Mr. Cruz, and we're going to talk about expanding the family. I don't know that we know Mr. Cruz well enough to do this, but we all know that boundaries are not a thing. You're so fun to be around. I really enjoy. I'm glad you brought this up, James. I've been thinking the same. They've already popped out 2 more kids. So they have 4. They're about to have 5 children at least, guys. He is an outgoing sim. This is great. Let's share our testimony with them. Oh my goodness, there's a baby. Hi, baby. Jackson Cruz. We have Mary Cruz. Let's knock on the door a little bit. Oh my gosh, there's only like 1 bedroom in this place. we certainly need to upgrade them. Absolutely. Maybe James can help by building additions onto their home. I have 24 hours to pay my bills. Oops. Well, there's those. Look at how small all of this is. Oh my gosh, we really do. I think James is absolutely going to woo them by saying, hey, so I see that you are really fulfilling the Watcher's will by lovingly having all of these children. I could see that you really love children and you view them as a blessing as the Watcher commanded. Let me go ahead and, oh my gosh, and make it so that this is easier on you. I'm going to use the gifts that the Watcher has given me, and me and my boys are going to come and give an extension on your house. So that'll be something we can look forward to next episode for sure. Let's discuss the symbol, but we won't take up too much of their times. We've got to get going. So this has been great to see all their children, all these little blessings from the Watcher. Crying in the background. I'm so sorry, buddy. And let's get moving back home. Home sweet home again. Let's take a look and see the state of everybody here. I'm always worried that I'm going to come in and like no one's going to have their needs met. Everybody looks like they are making their way to bed, which is good. They're all miserable. No one's having fun, but we can't really blame them. It's been a little bit of time, but whoa. Yes, we're going to have a strict dynamic with Garnet, as we should with all of our children. We are definitely still going to be lovey-dovey with them, but we're not going to be half as permissive as we were. That is part of what led to all of this. Mom is going to be putting Garnet to bed. The other kids are getting themselves to bed. James is just, washing up, getting stuff done. He'll talk to Mom a little bit about how the day went. He's going to check in with her about how she's doing. He knows that this is so tough on her. It's tough on him too, but he wants to make sure that she's okay. Oh, he shared an amazing testimony. Nice. That is so great. So James definitely has a talent for his preaching. He believes what he's peddling, James is going to get a little bit of rest because he knows also what he and his wife were called to do. He still wants to make sure that she's okay with that. He doesn't ever want to force her. He knows, or he feels, that he would have a biblical right to insist that she fulfill her wifely duty, but he's just not that kind of guy. He's not going to do that. Great. Garnet got the potty skill. Oh my goodness, Garnet hates being carried. Okay, so Garnet is a fussy little girl. Looks like she's going to be really hard to please. We're going to have to talk with her about a spirit of gratefulness and meekness. Mama is just reading her a symbol story, probably about Esther, Queen Esther, who through appealing to her feminine wiles and to the important men in her life was able to save her nation, and how, Mama and Daddy really want that for Garnet too. Dad can see that Mom is exhausted after putting Garnet to bed. He's going to offer her a massage that, hey, I can see it's been really stressful for you. I do want to take some time to invest in you. That seems to have helped a little bit. Aw, that's nice. And Beth is really grateful. She's going to give him a kiss. And I do think that right now, Beth wants to talk a little bit about the Watcher, how the Watcher is feeling about this. And to be honest, I think that she would be expressing some doubts about their Watcherite doctrine. That, hey, we've had 4 kids move out. 2 of them are no longer in this faith. They don't know that a 3rd one is probably on their way out, but that these aren't great odds. And this interaction, again, these guys come from the mod that Jacob is working on for this challenge. And James is going to ask that she pray about it. So we have an interaction that says that we're going to ask for prayers. So really just pray on it. And I think that Beth and James are going to do what they've always done, right? We're going to try for a baby. Tonight, when they don't know what to do, they cling to what is familiar. So they're going to see if it is the Watcher's will that they bring in another heir to this challenge. Hopefully our heir. You guys, I'm going to see if we can get this done, and I'll be back on if we're pregnant. All right, guys, let's see. We're eating for two. Guys, if this baby is a boy, then this is our heir. I would love some predictions. We're going to talk with him in the morning, okay? We don't need to tell him right this second. Okay, maybe she does. All right, I'm sorry. But then you got to get to bed. Guys, I'm hoping that this is a boy because then this would be our heir, so long as their roles go well. This would be our heir. This would be baby number 10. This can only be a singleton, a baby boy or baby girl. I want your guesses down in the comments. Please leave name suggestions. I'm thinking citrine if it's a girl. If it's a boy, I'm not quite sure. But if you guys give a suggestion that I like better, then yeah, we're definitely doing that, boy or girl. So thank you guys so much for your support in this. I am so sorry that we had a bit of a delay. Thank you for your patience in that. I hope everybody's holiday planning is going well. I will see you guys all tomorrow night for the stream. So if that is interesting to you, then hop on over to the live stream tab and make sure you set your reminders. Guys, I just appreciate you so much. I will see you next time I stream or post. Watch or bless. And as always, happy simming.